Learning objectives. At the end of this topic, you will be able to classify natural resources as exhaustible and inexhaustible resources. And inexhaustible resources. Appreciate the historical background of the formation of coal. Classify different types of coal based on their carbon content. Explain the term petroleum and discuss the methods of refining petroleum. Understand about natural gas. Sheila was talking to her grandmother about food. We use various materials for our basic needs. Some of them are found in nature, and some have been made by human efforts.
Yes, Grandma. I've read about it.
Can air, water, and soil be exhausted by human activities?
I've never thought about it. Can you please give me the answer?
Sure. Let me tell you more about it in this chapter. In this chapter, I shall also tell you about some exhaustible natural resources like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These were formed from the dead remains of the living organisms, fossils. So these are all known as fossil fuels. In the light of the availability of various resources in nature, natural resources can be broadly classified into two kinds. Inexhaustible natural resources. These resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. Examples are sunlight, air. Exhaustible natural resources. The amount of these resources in nature is limited. They can be exhausted by human activities. Examples of these resources are forests, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Coal is one of the fuels used to cook food. Earlier, it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. Coal is also used as a fuel in various industries. Let me tell you a story of coal. About 300 million years ago, the Earth had dense forests in low-lying wetland areas. Due to natural processes like flooding, these forests got buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed. The temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Under high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted to coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, coal is also called fossil fuel. When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Coal is processed in the industry to get some useful products such as coal, coal tar, and coal gas. Coke is a tough, porous, and black substance. It is almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Coal tar is a black, thick liquid with an unpleasant smell. It is a mixture of about 200 substances. Products obtained from coal tar are used as starting materials for manufacturing various substances used in everyday life and in the industry, like synthetic dyes, drugs, explosives, perfumes, plastics, paints, photographic materials, roofing materials, etc. Interestingly, naphthalene balls used to repel moths and other insects are also obtained from coal tar. Coal gas is obtained during the processing of coal to get coke. It's used as a fuel in many industries situated near coal processing plants. Petrol and diesel are obtained from a natural resource called petroleum. Petroleum was formed from organisms living in the sea. As these organisms died, their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea and got covered with layers of sand and clay. Over millions of years, absence of air, high temperature, and high pressure transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gas. Figure shows the deposits of petroleum and natural gas. We can see that the layer containing petroleum oil and gas is above that of water. We can see that the layer containing petroleum oil and gas is above that of water. Let's know more about refining of petroleum. Petroleum is a dark, oily liquid. It has an unpleasant odor. It is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. The process of separating the various constituents or fractions of petroleum is known as refining. It's carried out in a petroleum refinery. Various constituents of petroleum and their uses are given in the table. Natural gas is a very important fossil fuel because it is easy to transport through pipes. Natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas, CNG. CNG is used for power generation. It's now being used as a fuel to transport vehicles because it is less polluting. It is a cleaner fuel. The great advantage of CNG is that it can be used directly for burning in homes and factories where it can be supplied through pipes. Such a network of pipelines exists in Vadodara, Gujarat, some parts of Delhi and other places. Natural gas is also used as a starting material for the manufacture of a number of chemicals and fertilizers. We know that coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. It required the dead organisms millions of years to get converted into these fuels. On the other hand, the known reserves of these will last almost a few hundred years. Moreover, burning of these fuels is a major cause of air pollution. Their use is also linked to global warming. It's therefore necessary that we use these fuels only when absolutely necessary. This will result in a better environment, smaller risk of global warming, and their availability for a longer period of time. In India, the Petroleum Conservation Research Association, PCRA, advises people on how to save petrol or diesel while driving. Their tips are: drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. Switch off the engine at traffic lights or at a place where you have to wait. Ensure correct tire pressure and ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle. Summary. Let's summarize the topic. Inexhaustible natural resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. Exhaustible natural resources can be exhausted by human activities as the amount of these resources in nature is limited. The process of separating the various constituents or fractions of petroleum is known as refining. Natural gas is a very important fossil fuel because it is easy to transport through pipes.